Welcome. In front of me is a HUAWEI P9 Lite Mini, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the display temperature, which will allow you to simply change the temperature of the display. And to do it, you go into the settings and display, and then where is it? Color, temperature, and you have just the options to basically default, warm or cold. Warm will be a little bit more yellowish, cold will be more bluish, or you can just completely go your own way and select it to be greenish, reddish, whatever is your taste. Now I'm just gonna keep it at default so it looks I guess normal in the video. Now moving on, we're gonna go into the screen pinning option, which allows you to pin a window. So for instance, if you're letting someone use your device, for example, to call someone, you can pin the dialer app so they cannot leave it. And to do this, you would have to go to security and privacy, then additional settings, and then it is on the bottom, screen pinning. Tap on it and you get a message, enable screen pinning. Go to the screen you want to pin, touch over button to navigate bar, just tap on it, and you also have this amazing option to verify a lock screen password. So what this means is you have a combination once you enable the screen pinning. So as you can see right now, if I tap on the recent button, I have a lock. So once I tap on it, I won't be actually able to wait, what? That's not the app. There it is. There's the pinning app button. So now that it's pinned, you have the option to unpin it by touching and holding the back button. So apparently this is just a single button to unpin. And as an example, if I try to quit right now, I would have to unpin it, or I'll have to hold it. You have a message screen unpin, and now I can leave it. But also you have the option to do this, and you actually have to have some kind of pattern or password protection on your device for this to actually work. But what this will do, assuming you do, is when you're holding the back button to unpin a app, it will lock the device and then force you to unlock the device with your pin, pattern, password, whatever it is set to. So if someone even knows the combination to unpin, they still won't be able to get to the device, because then they will actually have to know your protection of your device. Now moving on, let me just disable this. Now moving on, another thing that I want to show is the show password, which is by default enabled, and it is also in the same place, which is the security options, and in advanced, and you have show password. And what this simply does is when you go into, for instance, Wi-Fi settings, I think this is the easiest way to show it. Let me just enable it. Just any place where you actually have to put in a password. When you start typing on it, you can always see the latest letter you have pressed for about a second, right? So if someone is really keen on it, they can just peek over your shoulder and gather your entire password, which is neatly provided by you in an order. Now, I'm not the greatest fan of that. It compromises security, in my opinion, and this option should be basically enabled by default. So you can just toggle that off. And now if we go back to Wi-Fi, and I again tap on some kind of Wi-Fi with a password, you can now see that there is no letter visible whatsoever. And this works system-wide. So wherever you have to put in a password, not only the Wi-Fi, to log into your email or stuff like that, it will always be now with just the immediate dot without any letter visible. So keep that in mind. Now moving on again into the security, which seems to have the most useful things in there. You have an option to set SD card password. Now when you try to enable it, it will actually give you a message that not all the SD cards are compatible with it, and by doing this you might actually lose data that is located on it at the moment. So before you try to do this, you might want to first back up all the data from the SD card and then try to do it, because if it's not compatible, you might actually lose the data. And in this case, you will have a backup of it somewhere on the side. And all you will need to do is just tap on continue and then set up the password. So you can see you have the password and confirm it, and that's about it. And then whenever you put in the this SD card into other devices, they will actually need to confirm the password to gain access to it. Okay, and moving on to the last thing that I want to show is the home screen. And as you can see, normally by default it's set to have all the apps smack in the middle of it, kind of like iOS does. And if you're not a fan of that, you can always enable an app drawer. So to do it, you would go into home screen style, which is somewhere on the top right here, and you have the drawer style. Just tap on it, it then loads it, and you can see that now, I mean, the apps are still there, but now you can actually remove them and just have a typical app drawer as you would normally do on any other Android. And that's about it. So if you found any of these tweaks helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.